Hello and welcome to Not So Awesome Review, and today we're looking at the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Sonic action figure by Jakks Pacific. This is based off of the new Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie, and they really want you to know on the packaging that this figure is articulated. Like right there, yeah, articulated. But yeah, so that's honestly great because the other Sonic figures from the video games, although they are articulated, and like Rouge, which we took a look at last week, is super articulated compared to the rest of the series, Sonic is always missing the arms, and this guy, well, he has it. It's really, really good, and yeah, let's just get into it. Sonic is your typical lightning-fast teenage hedgehog hero, stopping crime, saving the world, and looking cool while he does it. The box does say this figure has 13 points of articulation, and the other figures in the line include Knuckles, Tails, and Robotnik, which if I ever find, I will be doing videos on. I'm happy to have just found Sonic. I'm excited for Sonic. He's the main one I wanted, though I really do want Tails. I want Knuckles, but I really want Tails. But anyways, this figure does come with one accessory, this little skateboard looking thingy. It's the same board that the RC figure actually has, so I'm assuming at some point him and Knuckles will be riding this in the movie, or it's just something that happens in the movie for a second and they decide to throw it in as accessories. I don't know, but it's cool. His feet do fit on it. There are 2 pegs on the board itself, and he does have pegs on the bottom of his feet. You don't have to put both, feet in both pegs if you don't want to. You can just put one foot in one peg and it'll hold on well enough. You can just demonstrate that right now, I guess. But yeah, it's a cool accessory, I suppose. I don't know what else they could have done because, well, I haven't seen the movie yet, so it's not out yet. But yeah, it's decent enough. Painted alright, yellow, black, and then just, not that much detail. A little bit flexible, but not too much. I don't think that was gonna really break on anyone unless you really try hard. And yeah, so, Sonic. A super articulated Sonic is something that I know a lot of collectors really want. We have the older series with the super articulated line, but they always look kind of weird. We do have the collector's editions that Jakks has been putting out that are, pretty good. I know Classic Sonic doesn't have knee joints, which kind of sucks, but, it is a really nice figure. And then the modern one, it does have all the joints and everything, and it's cool, but it's a little big. This figure, being from the movie, they definitely went all out, and I'm happy they did, and I'm hoping it'll kind of bleed into the video game line and we'll get like a video game Sonic with that articulation, because this figure moves really good. But before we get into that, looking at aesthetics, this figure does look really good. It looks like he does in the movie. He does have that texture going around through his body to make it look like he does have hair and everything. No shading or anything like that to make it pop, but I don't know if it would help too much. Maybe like a nice dry brush of blue throughout the body, like just a gentle one would make it look a little bit better. But again, he is pretty perfect the way he is. His shoes look really good. His gloves and hands look good. The white part on his chest, I'm saying white, it's more like a tan color, does have a little bit of blue on mine, so maybe you guys want to check the packaging when you're going through them at the store. But for the most part, figure looks amazing. His head sculpt looks really good. And I mean, it looks really, really good. I mean, this is basically Sonic from the movie. There's no difference that I can see from the figure, his face. Yeah, that's him. It's just sculpted really well. Absolutely love it. Cannot praise the people at Jakks any more than I am now, because again, just like they do with all of the video game characters and all that stuff, they really know the sculpt work of Sonic. They really try to capture it as best they can, and it does translate to this figure so well. Another thing to note for him is that his body is somewhat glossy. Now, if anyone saw the RC video I did on Monday, you know that one, the head on it is matted and the body of it's glossy. I'm glad that it matches this time around, the body matching the head and everything, which is really important. I just wish that they went with the matted look, because I feel like the matted look on Sonic would have looked really good, especially since he is covered in kind of hair and kind of fur and everything. I think it would have looked really good. But aside from that, I have really no complaints. A few things I will mention, though, before we get into the articulation, is if you're having any problems moving any of the joints, like the knees right there, which mine still aren't, super, what's the right word? I don't want to say super loose, because you don't want them super loose, but they're not, worn in great. They used to have to put a little bit more pressure than I would like to. One thing you're going to want to do is look for things like this right here, which, let me just move this closer to the camera so you guys can kind of get a look in there. There is a little bit of excess plastic right here on the joint that you're going to want to just pull off. You could use a knife if you really want to, but you don't have to. Of course, parental guidance and everything for that if you are underage. But yeah, you know, just do that so that he can move his elbows and everything. On mine, the back of the knees all had a little bit of extra plastic on there that I need to shave off before he can bend them. And if you're still having issues, one, you can heat him up. He is super rubbery, so be careful. You don't want to overdo it. Two, you can kind of just shimmy the joint out like that, and then with your full thumb, carefully, and I mean carefully, just move it one direction. If it doesn't want to move that way, if it doesn't want to move back, you can move it forward a little bit, and it'll help kind of loosen the joint up a little bit so you don't end up breaking it. And again, you want to put your full finger behind the joint, because if you just grab it from like one end and you put all the pressure on just the bottom half, you can break it. So again, be careful. It's just a possibility, and I'm just looking out for you guys and letting you know that, you know, you got to be a little bit careful when moving those joints around. So yeah, they pop off and they pop on really easily. But anyways, articulation wise, this figure, again, it's really good. This is definitely up there with Jax's stuff. I mean, the collector's editions are really good, really nicely articulated, great amount of accessories. Honestly, the price on them is expensive. They are bigger figures. I would pay $20 for this Sonic with extra hands and an alternative head and maybe a couple accessories instead of a collector's edition. Yeah, that's what I want. I want this Sonic with a whole bunch of stuff. That would be amazing. That would be my dream for the next version of collector figures from them, because his articulation is really good. One thing I do want to mention before we actually get into the articulation is, if I can actually do it right now. I had it a second ago. There we go. There we go. Whoa. Again, my kind of thing is a little unbalanced here, but Sonic himself is actually really well balanced. For the movie version, since his little, I don't know what you want to call them, the spikes on the back of his head, since they don't come out as much as the video game Sonic, like that, he's not as back heavy, and he can stand easy. And that is just really great because, again, video game Sonic and video game Shadow both just fall over like nothing. You have to really balance those figures or put them on a stand. This guy, straight out the box, can stand on his own really good. Joints are super tight, as you saw, so there's no like falling at the knees, which again, the Sonic figures, I want to say one of my Sonics is kind of weak at the knees. The other one, the one I was actually just holding right now, isn't too weak on the knees, but the other one does have it so that he kind of just wants to lean back, kind of like that. This guy, not an issue. Knees are pretty strong, but yeah, let's move on to the articulation. So articulation, again, like I said, it has 13 points, so we can move the head left and right. There's a little bit of a tilt, and I will say this again, just as a warning for anybody, if you're taking them out of the package, it is just like most of the other Sonic figures, where it gets stuck in there really good because of the way the head is and the ears. The plastic is actually over the ears and everything. I would honestly suggest using scissors to cut around it so that you loosen it up, because you can end up pulling on the neck a little bit, and I did notice a little bit of stress marks starting to want to show from the neck right here. And yeah, so if you try too hard to like bend it or pull it off or anything like that, there is a possibility that you might break that, because it doesn't feel like it just wants to pop off too easy. It looks more like stress marks forming right there. So again, when you're taking them out of the package, head, be careful, just kind of maybe cut around the packaging or something. Nose feels pretty solid on him, which is good considering, again, I mean, it's the main thing we're going to compare it to, right? This Sonic, I feel like I can break this on accident just by picking it up wrong. His nose feels really good. So, just wanted to get that out there. But anyways, like I said, head can move left and right. Arm can move all the way up, all the way down, all the way around on both. We have rotation at the elbow right there, and a swivel joint that does more than 90. It does more than 90 for a Sonic figure. That is awesome. That's actually really good. Maybe it's about 90, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that is still really, really good right there. I absolutely love that. Was not expecting, I was expecting something more like this. Honestly, like there and there, but no, we get the full bend right there, which is great. And we do have rotation at the gloves. As for the legs, they still use this weird system, which I kind of wish they would change to like a ball peg or something, but yeah, they have the hinge where he can hinge his leg forward, right there, hinge his leg back right there, and if we want to, we can rotate it, so we can go out that way. We do have that knee that does 90 degrees, so that's good enough. I'm just going to insert this clip here because I did forget to mention that his knee does bend side to side, so you can get something like this kind of a pose going on. So yeah, I already finished the review, but kind of completely missed that part. But again, yeah, his knee can move side to side a little bit. So yeah, it's actually some really good posing right there. And we do have movement here at the foot. So we have a little bit of a pivot and rotation. Not too much, but it is there. And yeah, I guess that's about it for articulation. I didn't count if that's 13, but you know, it's honestly good enough for me. I think they did a great job with this figure. The movement on it is really all I can ask for, and the fact that Tails and Knuckles are supposed to have the same amount of articulation makes me happy. This is up there with, like, as a definitive Sonic. I know it's not the video game version, but if they put this level of articulation and quality control on the other figures, yeah, that's amazing. That would be a dream. That would be great. And speaking of other Sonic figures, here he is next to the video game version of himself and the Sonic Adventure 2 version of himself. That figure has definitely seen better days. That's from back when I was a kid. Loved that figure so much that it ended up breaking on me, and I had to do some drastic things to make it, you know, still workable, playable, I guess you could say. Yeah, again, seen better days, but I'm still happy to have it. I think he looks really good. You can see here, he is taller than both, but smaller, you know, proportion-wise, he's smaller, but taller. You know, the head fits his body really well. The long spikes, shorter on him. Ears look good, eyes look good, nose and everything. It's Sonic. You can tell it's Sonic, even though it's not the Sonic we're basically used to from here on the left. But yeah, I'm happy to have him. I think he looks really good with these guys, and yeah. Again, would love to see his articulation on him. Just bring that out there one more time, because if Jax is for some odd reason listening, watching, yeah, please just, you know, do that. But with him, even if you want to raise his price and add more accessories, I'm for it. Definitely keep the $10 ones. Don't get me wrong. Don't get rid of those. Just make like a subline saying like, this is the premium version. It's $15 or $20 with all the articulation and like 3 accessories or something. That, for me, would be great. And for anyone who wants to do a comparison with a regular 6-inch action figure, I think he fits in really good. Here we have the Mezco Spider-Man, and I mean, that's about the size he is in the movie. So he definitely fits in with your 1/12 scale figures. So again, really, really good. No complaints here. So a few more things I want to talk about in comparison to this figure, because I did see a comment of someone saying that they wanted to switch his shoes with his shoes, and I just want to talk about that for a second, talk about what may be cross-compatible between the two figure series in case anyone is interested here. Like I said, the head, I don't think I can actually pop off. I'm just going to put that out there right now. I probably can if I heat it up and I'm careful, but definitely be careful with that, because again, stress marks start to show when you try and move it a little bit too much. Editing me here just really quick, want to say that you can pop his head off if you just lean it back and are gentle, but again, be careful because you don't want to accidentally break that peg. The arms, I did try to kind of pop off without heating up, but again, I couldn't really get them out of the sockets, so anyone who wants to do like any type of arm changes and painting these the same colors as those, probably possible. It looks like it's the same size. I can't confirm it right now. I would have to heat them up and see if I can pop them off like that. I don't want to try too hard because I don't want to rip the arm off of the joint there, but you know, just want to put that out there. As for shoe swapping, his feet are a little bit bigger than his feet peg-wise, so you can pop his feet off just the same way you can pop his feet off. His shoes, I should say, can fit on to his shoes, feet, wow, words. So his shoes can fit onto his body, but his shoes cannot fit onto his body because the pegs on this one are a little bit too big. The pegs on here are a little bit smaller, so it's a snug fit on him. It won't move or give you that much articulation, but they can fit on there in case anyone's wondering. And funny enough, putting these shoes on that body, even though they don't fit, it does actually make him shorter. So I wanted to put that out there. And as for hand swapping, I'm pretty sure you can do it. I did pop his hand off and his hand off. I actually had a problem popping that hand back onto that body. But if you want to switch off the gloves so you can have some fists or something like that, it's probably possible. I'm actually going to test that right now. So as you can see, here is Sonic with the fist from the figure over here, and it does fit on really well. It's a little bit tight, it's a little bit hard to do, but to be fair, it's actually kind of that difficult to do it anyway when you're swapping it with the regular Sonic. So yeah, again, pretty much same size peg. One thing I will recommend doing, just because I feel like it might have loosened it up a little bit, or maybe it was already loose, is pop the arm off of this joint before you start putting the peg in, because or the hand in, because it does feel really tight and you don't want to accidentally bend the joint in here because it is smaller, it's skinnier. You can just, again, just like the knees, you can just pop that off right there, and then you can kind of just get in there. Be careful, you do not want to bend that, but that's just my advice there, so that the arm doesn't end up too loose, because yeah, right there, it feels a little bit loose, not too much, nothing I can't actually fix, so, you know, I'm okay with it. But yeah, you can definitely put a fist on the Sonic or any other hand that Sonic may have, that this figure doesn't already have, like the open hand. Is the open hand actually the same? No. So his hands are bigger than his. Just want to put that out there right now. The gloves, definitely his hand. Same shape, same kind of idea going on because his thumb does come out more. But yeah, his hands are definitely bigger than his hands. But it doesn't look too far off, honestly. That fist looks pretty good on him, and it definitely adds to it. So just wanted to put that out there again, that you can kind of mix and match at least the gloves with this figure. And again, if you wanted to pop off the shoes on him, put them on the other figure, you can do so, but the reverse isn't really too possible. So just on a side note, I did want to mention that I did have to heat up the hand to get the fist off. It was definitely in there pretty good, and I couldn't get a decent grip on it, so just heads up on that. If you are planning on doing some swapping, maybe get an extra Sonic with fist and just kind of maybe shave away a little bit of the plastic to make that hole a little bit bigger so it doesn't grab on too tight, or just wait until we get a Sonic 2 figure with a fist, which I'm sure is coming at some point. I can't imagine there won't be another Sonic in this series. But anyways, that is my review for the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Sonic action figure. Really good figure, really recommend it if you can find it. They are at Target, just, you know, keep hunting, keep looking. I've been checking almost every other day and finally was able to get one, so hopefully Knuckles and Tails aren't too far behind at one of my other local Targets. But yeah, again, really like this figure. $10. Honestly, a steal for this figure. It's just that good, that greatly articulated, looks good, it's fun. It's a lot more fun than the video game one, in my opinion, just because they added that extra effort with the elbows and everything. So yeah, be on the lookout, and I will hopefully be back with some more videos soon. And yeah, anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.